Good evening, basketball fans. I'm Tom Smith. I'm here with my partner, Ron Probst, both of us former varsity basketball coaches here at Speedway High School, and we're here at Morris Pollard Gymnasium tonight to bring you a doubleheader. The girls varsity basketball team will play the Monrovia girls varsity basketball team, followed by our boys varsity basketball team against Monrovia. So we got a doubleheader for you here tonight. Stay with us. For the girls game, they are coached by Kevin Rounds. Their record is 4-3. Speedway is coached by Joe Smith. Their record is 4-0. They have not played in a couple weeks due to contact tracing on the part of the entire team because Joe Smith, the head coach, tested positive for the coronavirus. On the other side of the fence, Monrovia girls tonight will be missing 3 girls that got taken off the bus as they were prepared to come here due to contact tracing of students, classmates that have tested positive, and so they'll be missing 3 players tonight. We will talk during the boys game. Our boys have had a couple guys that have missed games for that same reason, but the varsity basketball team for the girls side of the thing has not played in a while, and so they'll try to shake off the cobwebs tonight and figure out a way to secure a victory from Monrovia. Coach, any thoughts before I talk about starting lineup?
Well, as you said, we haven't played for 3 weeks, so it'll be interesting to see how we come out, how fresh we are, if we've lost anything, because we were 4-0 at that point, playing really, really well. Monrovia, on the other hand, had a game on Wednesday night. I think they played Indiana Math and Science, and they won. So from that standpoint, they would have a little bit of advantage, but as you said, they're missing a few players. Last year, Bulldogs were 8-15. Speedway beat them 59-46, but the game I remember most, Tom, about this rivalry, and it's a conference rivalry, 2 years ago here, Monrovia won a game 67-65, but that was not the story of the night. The story of the night was it lasted 3 overtimes. And I remember, if I'm correct, that kind of got us jump-started. I think we got a huge winning streak after that, maybe 10, 12 games as we got toward the end of the year. So good rivalry. We've always had good games with Monrovia, and I don't look for anything different tonight.
Well, let's talk about starting lineups. First from Monrovia, at one guard will be number 14, Grace Whitaker, a 5'7" senior. Grace is averaging 9 rebounds a game and 11 points a game for the Lady Bulldogs. For the other guard, another guard is Emily Crouch, a 5'7" sophomore, number 22. Ashley Lewis, a 5'8" guard, averaging 10 points a game, is another guard. Mallory Willett, a forward, a 5'8" senior, and Harley Mobley, a junior, will be the other starter in our national anthem.
Speedway High School Business Administration and Athletic Department.
Starting lineup for your Lady Spark Plugs. At one guard is Brooke Hartman, number 10, 5'10" senior. She's averaging 10.5 points a game. Also in the starting lineup is senior Lane Hooper, a 5'5" senior, number 20. Camille Perry, their point guard, and the girl that makes them go. She'll get up and down the court in a hurry. is a 5'6" junior. She's averaging 7.3 rebounds a game. Coach, the second highest rebounder on the team is your point guard at 5'6". Maddie Golden is a forward, a 5'9" senior. She's averaging 9.8 points per game. And rounding out the starting lineup is leading scorer, senior Maddie Barnes, a 5'9" senior. She's averaging 12 points a game and has probably been the leading scorer the last 3, maybe the last 4 years for the Lady Sparkplugs. Probably the first one off the bench will be number 33, Daniela Galvez. She's not a starter, but she's a 5'9" freshman that's our leading rebounder, averaging 12.5 rebounds a game. So once again, in talking to Monrovia's coach prior to the game, while they're getting on the bus, they were notified 3 girls, Katie Clark, Allie Swafford, and Gracie Lee, could not make the trip due to contact tracing. And of those, I believe that Allie Swafford was the only starter. The other 2 were bench players for the Lady Bulldogs. Once again, Brooke Hartman, Camille Perry, number 23, point guard. Senior Maddie Barnes, number 32. Senior Lane Hooper. Rounding out the starting lineup, number 24, Maddie Golden. So I think you were right on target when you said the advantage goes to Monrovia, having played recently. The advantage for the Sparkplugs, I guess, is they have their full complement of players. But we're quarantined for a time, couldn't practice.
The format of tonight's game, unusual. I think we only have this twice a year. It goes back to the days when both Monrovia and Speedway were in the West Central Conference. All the conference games at that point were a boy-girl doubleheader, and I believe we've kept this one and perhaps Cascade. I'm not certain on the Cascade, but I'm glad we kept a couple of them anyway. I think it's kind of neat that everybody plays on the same night, and the JV would have played last night.
As you know, there are limited fans, and I think that gets a little bit loosened up after the first of the year in terms of percentage of players. Tomorrow night, the boys will play
Greenfield Central.
Greenfield Central here, and we'll be interviewing Brian Avery to fill us in on all the athletic side of COVID. And I said Brian Avery, I think that's a week from tomorrow that we do Brian Avery. I think tomorrow night is Kyle Trebley, who's the superintendent of schools, that will let us know about Camille Perry on the dribble. Kicks out to
nice
Maddie
pass.
Barnes, right back into Maddie Golden, who misses. Maddie Barnes gets a rebound. 2-3 zone for the Lady Bulldogs. Ashley Lewis misses for Monrovia. Maddie Barnes on the dribble. Maddie Barnes, Camille. Brooke Hartman for 3. Short. Double team up top, and Kevin Rounds, Monrovia's coach, calls a timeout. Speedway trapped.
We're less than 2 minutes into the game, and my assessment may be way off, but with Monrovia missing a few players, I'm sure they can't change offensively what they're doing, but they've been very patient on the half court. And given the fact that they've gone back to a 2-3 zone, it tells me that this is a game that they want to keep the pace down. They don't want to go up and down with us. That's probably when we play our best basketball to begin with, and if they're missing a few players tonight, that probably just adds to it.
Well, I came last night. Our freshmen and our junior varsity boys played Monrovia last night, and both teams came away with a victory. Hard-fought games. Just another great part about high school athletics, Coach. 34, Mallory Willett gets the scoring going for the Bulldogs. Brooke Hartman for three, and she hits it. Just going to say, if the Plugs score, my guess would be is you'll see some type of press. We're going to have a foul on 42, Harley Mobley. That's the first foul of the game. Speedway will have the ball out of bounds. Lane Hooper gets it into Camille Perry. We're going to have a foul on 34, Mallory Willett.
Monrovia foul number 34, Mallory Willett.
A little bit surprised that Monrovia is putting some pressure on, but as you well know, pressure, the way to increase the number of turnovers other teams make, so.
You mentioned that their record was 4-3. The three losses. Been to Triton Central, no shame in losing to the Tigers. Also, they have lost to, if I can get this correct, Indian Creek. Indian Creek's always got a very good program, and Ritter. And of course, Ritter's a team that's the only common opponent. I think Plugs defeated them. That was our last game, probably.
And when we played Ritter, they were short one of their best players. Camille Perry with the rebound. Coach, the lack of playing is kind of, I look at the mistakes the girls have made up to this point, the turnovers. Good move by Maddie Barnes. Spark Plug field goal, and the Plugs lead 5-2. But they've made some passes that I think is not normally.
No.
Usually done a pretty good job of cutting down on turnovers. So we'll see as time goes on if that improves. Spark Plugs and man-to-man defense.
We've gotten by a couple of times. They're doubling that pass on the wing, and we have nobody to cover the person that's flashing to the basket. That was a bomb.
Grace Whitaker for three, and we've got a 5-5 tie. Maddie Barnes for three, short. Maddie Golden gets a rebound. We've got a jump ball. The alternate possession will give the Bulldogs the ball. Into the game for Monrovia, number 21. Flower Fair. And in for the Spark Plugs, 33, Daniela Galvez, and number 4, Melinda Bryant. 4 games that the Plugs have played. Coach Joe Smith does this about halfway through the first quarter, replaces 2. He'll replace 2 more about the end of the first quarter. Melinda Bryant on the drive misses the layup. Camille Perry to Daniela Galvez, and she misses. But all 5 starters will sit sometime during the first 2 quarters. Both teams, Coach, a little rusty inside.
Yep. Trying to play fast. And a great coach once said, be quick but don't hurry. And I think right now we're hurrying a little bit too much.
Grace Whitaker for another 3, her second of the game, and Monrovia leads 8-5. Maddie Barnes on the drive and the miss. Maddie Barnes comes down with a rebound on the missed Monrovia shot. Camille Perry for three. Camille Perry with a rebound. Maddie Barnes to Daniela Galvez. Melinda Bryant, Camille Perry. Daniela with the rebound and puts it back. Once again, we mentioned her as probably the first person to come off the bench, her and Melinda Bryant. The leading rebounder on the team, snagged an offensive rebound and scored for the Plugs. Now the Plugs with his own defense. And a three by Ashley Lewis. And Monrovia leads 11-7. Maddie Barnes on the shot and misses. The rebound comes to Grace Whitaker, but she stepped on the inline. Brooke Hartman and Lane Hooper will return. Maddie Golden and Maddie Barnes will take a seat. Substitution pattern for Coach Smith continues. Brooke Hartman for three. We've got a jump ball, the main Speedway ball on the alternate possession. 52.7 seconds remaining in this first quarter with Monrovia 11-7 lead. Melinda Bryant for three. Early, coach, it seemed like we tried to almost force it inside a little bit, and now we've taken just the opposite approach.
We got 25 seconds to go. Looks like the Bulldogs are going to play for the last second shot, which I agree with completely. That's maybe one of my pet peeves from coaching. They're ahead 4. If they're successful at this, they're ahead by no less than 4 and could be up 6 or 7. However, quarter.
And that completes the first quarter. Score Monrovia 11, Speedway 7.
And I think you're right. I think early in the game we were making a conscious effort to get the ball inside, and we're forcing it a little bit. It isn't that any of the three-point shots we've taken have been bad shots, not at all. Ball's just not going in the basket. I think I mentioned earlier, I thought Ritter was the last game. I think we played Deaf School, I believe was our last game. And I remember the Cecina game, Danielle Gavez, if I remember correctly, came off the bench and got her hands on 3 or 4 rebounds immediately. And she's only been in the game here a couple of minutes, and looks to me like she could be, her role on this team could be really somebody that comes off the bench that gets some work done inside. And I think that's something that this team really can use.
Once again, she's a freshman, a 5'9" freshman. But also, in talking about Coach Smith's substitution pattern, it has worked well in games because first half, all of his starters have got a break. And it seems like toward the end of the game, there have been in other games a little fresher than opponents. So now in the game for the Spark Plugs, Alex Delisle, 5'9" freshman. Number 21, trapping in the corner. So for the Spark Plugs, Alex Delisle, Melinda Bryant, Maddie Barnes, Brooke Hartman, and Daniela Galvez. So you have 2 freshmen a junior, and 2 seniors in the lineup. That's obviously where they're wanting to go with the ball, to the corner where you can get a trap.
And not only that, you also want to see an opponent put the ball over their head as they did, which is not what you should be doing no matter where you're out on the floor.
Daniela Galvez to Maddie Barnes, and she scores. 11-9 Monrovia.
Now, most players are right-handed, and therefore a lot of teams end up running a lot of their offense on the right-hand side of the court. And you watch, that's really the first time they brought the ball back to the left side for a long time.
So back in the old days, when I was playing high school basketball here for Morris Pollard, we played a matchup zone almost exclusively. And your best rebounder, you always put opposite the right side of the floor, because they figured 70% of the shots were going to be taken from the right side. So you put your second best rebounder on the left side of the floor as you're facing the basket. Melinda Bryant for 3. And the Plugs retake the lead at 12-11. Maddie Barnes with the rebound. Nice pass to Maddie Golden for her first points. Nice assist from Maddie Barnes. So we got a 1-2-2 half-court trap on part of the Spark Plugs.
Good anticipation.
That's going to be a foul on Daniela Galvez, I believe, of the Spark Plugs. Camille Perry back in for Melinda Bryant. Jump ball, the possession arrow pointing toward the Bulldogs' end of the court. 5:18 remaining in this second quarter. Now Alex Delisle checks back into the game for Daniela Galvez. Back in for Michaela Belcher, entering the game for the first time for Monrovia, replacing Harley Mobley. Another steal for the Spark Plugs. Another bounce pass to Maddie Golden.
Beautiful pass.
Golden cashes in on the pass from Maddie Barnes. We've got a foul on Brooke Hartman.
Well, it's 9 unanswered points.
For full timeout taken by Monrovia. So again, in the lineup for the Spark Plugs right now, Brooke Hartman, a 5'10 senior. She's got 3 points on the night. Alex Delisle, a 5'9 freshman. Camille Perry, 5'6 junior. Maddie Golden with 4 points, averaging 9.8 points per game. who is a senior, and Maddie Barnes, who also has 4 points. Daniela Galvez, who is getting a breather on the sideline, has the other 2 points for the Sparkplugs.
Speedway started the second quarter with a little bit of a trapping defense, which was different than they were doing the first quarter. And this 9-0 run right here has been really the result of Monrovia getting the ball in the corner of the court and having nowhere to go with it. And if they want to be successful against the trapping defense, they're going to have to keep the ball out of the corner and attack the middle a little bit more and on top.
And you know, one of the results, and I would imagine Coach Rounds probably talked about it, they had 3 3-pointers the first quarter, all from the wing, 2 from Grace Whitaker and 1 from Ashley Lewis, and they haven't shot 1 from the wing, a 3-pointer, this entire quarter. Grace Whitaker steps on the sideline, which is interesting. Now it looked like she was going to be the corner person they were going to. Camille Perry, once again, Monrovia 2-3 zone. Barnes, Hartman, Perry. Perry for 3. No good. Maddie Golden gets a rebound. And we've got a jump ball. Speedway will retain possession. Brooke Hartman for 3. And that's her second 3-pointer of the game. 19-11. 12-point run this quarter. And I never should have mentioned about the 3-point shooting on the wing, because that was Ashley Lewis with a 3.
You know, though, before she took that shot, you could tell she was set. I mean, I wasn't going to predict it was going to go in, but that was a nice preparation on her part, because that's one thing if you're going to shoot 3-pointers, you can't shoot them off the fly and want to be successful. Shoot a good percentage. You got to be ready as soon as the pass comes to you, and she was. Nice pass.
Missed shot inside for the Bulldogs. Brooke Hartman comes down with a rebound. No shot on the foul.
Very, very clean first half. It's only 5 fouls total on both teams, which I prefer that watching the game.
Foul is on Grace Whitaker. Brooke Hartman gets a breather. Into the game, Belinda Bryant. Maddie Golden with a putback. She's got 6. 21-14. Mallory Willett for her 4th point of the game. Maddie Barnes for 3. The Plugs lead 24-16. 2:45 remaining in this first half. Daniela Galvez checks in for Maddie Golden. Back into the game for Bulldogs 22, Emily Crouch. Lane Hooper also into the game, replacing Alex Delisle. Neil Perry brings the ball up the floor. 2 minutes remaining in this first half. Good entry pass into Galvez. She misses the shot inside. Long three-point attempt by Whitaker, no good. Barnes comes down with a rebound. Gets batted away to Monrovia, and they'll bring the ball back up the floor. 24-16 your score.
I'm not sure if the Bulldogs are going to be content here running this to halftime. They're down by 8. Doesn't look like it.
Fouls on Melinda Bryant, number 4. Her first, team's third. Into the game for the Bulldogs, Ashley Lewis. The Speedway this first half, coach, has played a 2-3 zone. They played a man-to-man. They played a 1-2-2 trapping zone. Probably something else that I haven't caught at the time, but they played at least 3 different defenses this first half. Maddie Barnes. Be Monrovia basketball on the jump ball.
Going back years and years ago, Dean Smith probably was one of the original North Carolina original coaches that utilized multiple defenses. They played a lot of different defenses, and other teams play one. And we've said many times there's different ways to win. And
yep.
Personally, I enjoy switching up. I think it keeps players' attention. I know you can do too much. Especially at the high school level, you can get by with some things that maybe you can't get by with at other levels.
Yeah. And I know when I was coaching in the 80s, we ran something different after made free throws and ran something different with, when we scored, changed it up at timeouts, and I'm sure same thing happened with you, that this level, sometimes you got to keep them a little off guard with Camille Perry on the jumper, no good. And that ends the first half. The score, Speedway 24, Monrovia 16. We'll be right back with your scoring for the first half and an interview with boys varsity coach Charles Bennett.
Back here at halftime in the girls varsity basketball game, Speedway leads Monrovia 24-16. We're talking to Coach Charles Bennett of the boys team, whose game is going to follow. Coach, first and back, glad to see you're healthy. Would you explain to me, because I'm not sure the rules. Last weekend we played with a couple of players who are quarantined, Drew Valentine and Jackson Smith. When did they return to practice, and how many practices do they need to play before they play tonight?
Well, luckily, Brian Avery, our athletic director, has got this whole thing down pat because the IHSA has set out guidelines to follow along with what the Marion County Health Department set out, and it just basically boils down to how many actual scheduled practices a player misses from the time they start their quarantine till the time they come back. So, for example, we don't practice on Sunday, so Sunday doesn't count as a scheduled practice day.
Okay.
We didn't have practice last Friday or Saturday because those were scheduled game days.
Okay.
Fortunately for us, the two players that were quarantined, because it was over Thanksgiving break, since we played on Tuesday, we didn't practice Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, or Saturday or Sunday. So they ended up, believe it or not, they only missed 4 practices total between games and all of that. So if you miss 4 or less practices, you can come back immediately from your quarantine, practice, and then play. So we were fortunate from the standpoint that Jackson and Drew both came back after 4 practices, only missing 4 practices, and were able to practice 3 times this week with us. Now, had they missed 5 scheduled practices, then they would have had to practice 5 times. So the magic number, I think, is 6 to 10. But again, Mr. Avery is wonderful about making sure that our players, if quarantined, can come back as soon as possible. So, and we were fortunate from the standpoint that neither player tested positive, and they were just close contacts. So when they returned, they didn't have to have a test or anything like that. So it's really a day-to-day.
Sure.
I mean, it's crazy how it happens, and we were fortunate that it happened at that time. Those 2 players are fortunate. Both are going to contribute tonight, and especially for Drew, who's a senior. You don't want seniors to miss anything at all.
Sure.
So it was good. Sorry,
Sure.
long-winded, but
No.
complicated.
I didn't know what the rule was, and it sounds to me like you need somebody to do an Excel spreadsheet to make sure that everybody's eligible to play. You're talking about tonight's game. You got a Monrovia team coming in here. Last couple of years been very, very good. Coming off an 18-6 season 2 years ago, 19-7. I know they had a really good player named Smith. They're 1-1. Give us a little bit of an input on what we should be looking for tonight.
Well, the first thing is they start with their head coach, Coach Swafford. He's a very good friend of mine, but he also does a great job with his program. He's really done a great job of getting his kids to play really hard. And he's, obviously the record speaks for itself, and there's player Josh Smith was a good player as well, but they have a really crafty guard named Joe Williams tonight, left-handed kid, number 3. He has constant energy, and he makes their team go. When he's on the floor, you can tell he's a true point guard, true leader, and he can also score as well. And then they have a couple seniors, a 6'4" senior, Hunter Ray, who's just a bruiser inside, but does a great job, understands his role. And then Alex Willett, another guard for them that's a senior. Those 3 guys kind of make them go, but Joe Williams is their key.
Okay. Last thing, what I always like to do right before a game is I always like to see what the keys, what are the things we should be looking for if you think we're going to be successful tonight?
With our team, Coach Clampett actually did the scout for Monrovia tonight, and we all agree after watching them on film, but defensive pressure is going to be the key. We want to try to make them really uncomfortable. We want to try to take them out of their sets. We want to make sure that we also, we're looking forward to Reese Walker, Garden Williams, kind of shut him down. He did a great job last week against Beech Grove's best players. Right. So defensive pressure, which we always say defense wins championships, but most of all, we want our kids to play hard and have fun, because every game we get to step out here is just is a bonus for our kids. So that's what we want them to do. That's perfect. Sounds great. Good luck tonight, Coach, and we'll talk to you after the game. Okay, thank you. Thanks, Coach.
Tomorrow night, here at Morris Pollard Gymnasium, the boys game varsity basketball team.
We are back with your scoring for the first half. First from Monrovia, Grace Whitaker had 6 points on 2 3-pointers. Ashley Lewis had 6 points on 2 3-pointers. And Mallory Willard had 2 field goals for 4 points for the Bulldogs. So 3 different scores, 2 with 6 and 1 with 4 for Monrovia. For the Sparkplugs, Melinda Bryant had 3, Brooke Hartman had 6, Maddie Golden had 6, Maddie Barnes had 7, and Danielle Galvez had 2 for their total of 24. Once again, 24-16 as we start this third quarter. Ball out of bounds, Sparkplugs.
Several important times in the game. Most coaches would tell you this ranks right up at the beginning. Start of the third quarter is hugely important.
The entry pass from Maddie Barnes into Maddie Golden, intercepted by Lady Bulldogs. Speedway looks 1-2-2 zone. Holly Mobley comes down with a rebound. Willett with a shot and misses. The Bulldogs come down with another offensive rebound. (24-14), the shooters for the Bulldogs. Ball goes inside to Mobley. That foul's going to be called on Maddie Barnes.
Speedway foul on number 32, Maddie Barnes, on the line. For the Bulldogs, number 42, Harlan Mobley.
And Coach, I just realized as I'm keeping the stat stuff here, first free throw of the game for either team.
Well.
Harley Mobley makes the first one.
And that is unusual. I remember the game here 2 years ago. It was not really well played. There were a lot of missed free throws in those 3 overtimes. So it's kind of refreshing to have a game where you're not shooting 50 free throws. And a lot of that is, even though we've put some pressure on Monrovia, I believe probably has played that 2-3 most of the game, the zone, so a little bit passive.
Well, and if we look at their scoring, they've got 12 points on 4 threes.
Wow, yeah.
Mallory Willett has 2 field goals for the other 4, and they were both inside the lane. Pass intercepted, a bad pass by Camille Perry.
Oh,
Now
no.
intercepted by Maddie Barnes.
Get a rebound. And I would call that intentional, and referees agree.
Maddie Barnes for 2, count the basket.
Could be a really big swing in this game.
Foul is on number 34, Mallory Willett for the Bulldogs.
Mallory Willett with the foul.
On the line, Madison Barnes.
That's her second. So Barnes gets the field goal.
I think there's a little frustration on that. Good in.
There we go. Barnes gets that one to roll around and fall in. It'll be Plugs basketball. Barnes for 3.
Once again, Tom, she was set, ready to shoot that ball before he even got there. And your percentage goes up a lot when you're able to get yourself in that position.
We've got a foul on Brooke Hartman. So Barnes gets 5 of the 6 potential points on the intentional foul. Lewis with the ball for the Bulldogs. Whitaker. I think she double dribbled.
Yes,
Coach.
I think she did too.
And it'll be Monrovia's ball as Speedway started with the ball the third quarter. but basically a 6-point play.
Yeah.
Gives the Plugs a 30-18 lead. Speedway with their original starting lineup: Camille Perry, Brooke Hartman, Maddie Barnes, Lane Hooper, and Maddie Golden. Checking into the lineup for the Sparkplugs, Daniela Galvez will replace Lane Hooper. Once again, as we said earlier, Galvez, a 5'9" freshman. Grace Whitaker from, wow, way downtown.
That was
Brooke
way
Hartman
downtown.
with the foul.
Speedway foul on number 10, Brooke Hartman.
That's going to be Hartman's third foul. And Grace Whitaker will have 3 free throws.
14, Grace Whitaker.
Wouldn't argue at all with the call, except I thought there was a chance that could have been after the shot, but apparently maybe that's what they're talking about right now. It was.
Checking in.
You are a refereeing wizard, Coach. They will have the ball out of bounds as it was after the shot. Ball goes inside to Harley Mobley, and that's the second foul on Maddie Barnes this half that I'm not sure both of them weren't blocked, but
Maddie Barnes had great position. And
I don't have the whistle.
I think that's exactly how I would have taught that. Her hands were straight up. And
Harley Mobley hits her 3rd free throw in a row.
Bulldogs are hanging around, Tom. I think we've had a couple opportunities to put them away, but oh,
Grace Whitaker banks in a 3. Gap is closed to 30-23. On the errant pass for the Sparkplugs that led to a 3-point field goal shot by Grace Whitaker. Another turnover for the Plugs. Harley Mobley with the rebound. Another chance for Monrovia to cut into the lead. Camille Perry comes out with the ball.
good pass. Good.
Daniela Galvez with the putback as she's fouled and makes the field goal. Foul is on Grace Whitaker, her second. Galvez hits her free throw for a 3-point play. 33-23. Plugs now with some pressure once again. 1-2-2. Full court pressure. And a field goal by number 50, Michaela Belcher. I think Daniela got too far extended there, Coach, away from the basket, left it unprotected. Monrovia calls a quick timeout. 33-25, 4:01 left in this third quarter. Sparkplugs ahead. Tomorrow night's game, as I mentioned earlier, we'll have Dr. Kyle Trebley here, the superintendent of Speedway High School, to interview him about the latest COVID information released by Marion County Health and Mayor Joe Hogsett. Got the increase, I think, in what they'll allow fans at games, but also the return to school and a variety of things. We'll have that interview with him tomorrow night. Following tonight's game, the 4 seniors for Speedway High School will be up here to have a brief chat with us about both the present and the future for each one of the 4 girls. One to Bryant, the three-point shot. Eight-point lead for the Plugs.
Well, I think a little fortunate that they came out of that. However, got to end up getting a good shot. Nice pass.
Plugs have got to come up with that ball.
Yeah.
We're getting out rebounded down at this end.
We're
We're getting 2 and 3 shots each time, and you can't survive that way.
Really struggling, and it's more difficult to rebound out of a zone, as we know. However, we've got a lot of opportunities. I know we use the term often because we're not a very big team on either side, boys or girls. Our teams have to rebound by committee. There's no, if our guards get most of the rebounds in the ball game, that would not be unusual to me. Blocking out obviously is important, but chasing the rebounds down is just as important.
You know, as we've talked about before, and as you said, rebounding with a zone defense is harder than when you're responsible for one person. But we have been out rebounded down here. It was a great timeout by Coach Joe Smith. Matty Barnes down on the floor with the ball. He got a 30-second timeout. I think that's the Plug's second timeout in the game that will save them a possession. Hopefully they can cash in with it.
You know, it's not necessarily applicable to this. However, we talk about players having roles. I just read last week, Dennis Rodman played a game one time in the NBA. Of course, he had good teammates. He had 28 points and 0 points. And his contributions were extremely, obviously important. So
28 rebounds?
28 rebounds and no points. To me is incredible. But he knew his role.
I think we're going to have a foul on number 50, Caleb Belcher. We will have the ball out of bounds. Remains 33-25.
Oh, nice move, Bill Perry.
Neil Perry for her first points of the game. Nice move on a layup along the baseline. I think the Plugs are now going back maybe to man-to-man defense, which they are. I think Camille kind of bailed her out there because it may have been looked like the Lady Bulldogs were scrambling a little there. Mallory Willett goes back into the game for Monrovia. Monrovia out of bounds after the Perry foul. Alex Delisle now into the game for the Spark Plugs. I think that's who you would want shooting the three-pointer. Harley Mobley, mostly an inside player. Camille takes to the basket, gets fouled. Will have the chance to extend the lead. 42, Harley Mobley on the foul, her second.
And I think part of our success the last couple of times is we've switched defenses, and it's the first time we've done that tonight, I believe. In that particular, not maybe the first time, but we have not played the man-to-man very often, and a little bit confused Bulldogs were.
So the Plugs with two freshmen inside the lane right now, Daniela Galvez, Alex Delisle, Camille Perry on the free throw line, a junior, and two seniors, Maddie Barnes, Maddie Golden in the backcourt right now on the free throw. Camille Perry hits the second one. The Plugs drop back into Man-to-man defense. Alex Delisle with a rebound, but we got a foul. And that'll be Grace Whitaker's third foul.
Oh.
Bad pass by the Spark Plugs. Gives the ball back to Grace Whitaker from long distance. Alex Delisle with a rebound. Gets it out to Camille Perry. Maddie Barnes on the jump shot. No good. Maddie Golden on the rebound. Alex Delisle. Perry. Barnes for three. And it's good. Maddie Barnes has got 9 points this quarter as the Plugs now lead 39-25 with 35 seconds remaining in this third quarter, excuse me. I think that foul is going to be on 21, Alex Delisle, her first. Mallory Willett will go to the line to shoot 2 free throws. Short on the first. Monrovia this quarter has 2 field goals, a 3 from Grace Whitaker, and a 2 from Michaela Belcher, and 4 free throws. 4 free throws from Harley Mobley. So a 14-point lead for the Plugs. Maddie Barnes. The ball's going to go to the Spark Plugs. Camille Perry will inbound the ball. Alex Delisle for 3, and it misses at the buzzer. The Plugs lead 39-25.
I think something I'm going to ask Coach Smith next time I see him, and I'm not sure I recognize that completely, but we got under 5 seconds, and it sounded perhaps like we have a code word that's different than shoot. Just to warn people, because so many times players aren't aware of where the clock is at. Of course, in high school, you don't have to worry about the shot clock, but I did hear him stand up and yell something. And that happens a lot in basketball. There are a lot of code words.
Right.
I remember one year, Tom, we had a player on the varsity level, and it was a screen situation, and one of our players got called for a charge because somebody didn't call out the screen, and I was correcting the player. He goes, "You got to call out the screen." He goes, "I said watch it." And I go, "That's not the word that we use. We don't say watch it because that doesn't mean a lot. We have a word that means something specific, and that is when you yell screen, the player guarding the basketball knows what's coming up. Watch it wasn't a very good hint, but so it's important. Vocabulary is important. Not just for defensive purposes, but where's the elbow on the court? I mean, a lot more goes into it than just up and down.
A
and
lot
shooting.
of teams have used stoplight colors that, what we're doing on offense.
Yeah.
We'll take any shot, and yellows are...
Yeah, I love that one. That was...
Travel on Maddie Golden. Part of leadership, and we've talked about that before, part of leadership is the communicating, getting players to communicate with one another. Sparkplugs now a man-to-man. Daniela Galvez has replaced Lane Hooper, who started the game. The other 4 starters in the game in for the Sparkplugs at the start of this quarter. A lob pass inside to Willett for her 6th point. Maddie Barnes misses. Maddie Golden with a rebound. We've got a foul. That was 34. Mallory Willett, her 3rd. Both teams now with 6 fouls. Brooke Hartman for 3.
Yeah,
and it's good. And Hartman now with 9 points. Maddie Barnes, the leading scorer in the game, with 16. Perry with the rebound on the missed Bulldog shot. Skip pass to Hartman for the short jumper, misses. Bulldogs come down with a rebound. 42-27. Speedway's gone out to a 15-point lead. 6:35 left in this last quarter. And a travel. The Lady Bulldogs.
Checking in for the Sparkplugs for 20.
Lane Hooper replaces Daniela Galvez, and so the original starting lineup now in for the Plugs. Skip pass to Camille Perry.
I would say sometime soon, nice look. Sometime soon, down 15 with about 6 minutes to go, Monrovia is going to have to start thinking about switching to man-to-man or a little bit more pressure. We're not going to stand out there and hold the ball, but at the same time, they've got to start to make something happen.
Brooke Hartman for 3 misses, and the rebound comes down to the Lady Plugs, Ashley Lewis. Basket will count. Foul on Maddie Golden. So Willett scores the field goal. We'll get the free throw. Makes it. She now has 9 points.
Just when you think we're about ready to open it up, Monrovia, to their credit, makes some big plays, makes some good decisions, and right back in at 12 down.
5:55 remaining in the game. 42-30 Sparkplugs. Ball goes inside to Mallory Willett. Grace Whitaker around the wheel. Ashley Lewis back to Whitaker. She misses. It's going to be Sparkplug ball. Now a little pressure by the Bulldogs. Speedway beats the press. Camille Perry misses. Crouch to Whitaker. Ball knocked out of bounds by Maddie Barnes on the sideline.
Your old conference, strange things happen in basketball. I believe it was this week, Ohio University was playing Cleveland State. Ohio University had a 45-25 lead, scored 40 unanswered points. Now, I don't say that because I think that's going to happen tonight, but it shows you just never know. Until that clock shows 0-0, until that clock shows 0-0, you never know what's going to happen.
Yeah.
And you want to let yourself have some margin of error. Like in baseball, you'd rather be up 2 runs because you never know when you might get a bad hop on a rock bin in the wrong place. And
Monrovia substitution number 50, Caleb Belcher.
Monrovia ball.
I'm impressed with both teams. We haven't played for a while, and girls are playing hard, and as they always do. Monrovia down several times to the point where they could have seen this thing slip away down to 20 points, and they've not let that happen with some players down.
Girls have made more turnovers than I have seen in other games, which may be part of the missing practice.
I'm sure.
You know, not only does the coach positive, but none of the players can come to school, go to the gym, and then like they can practice with other coaches there. They're all at home quarantine.
And all you have to do to appreciate that is know what happens after vacations when you come back for that first practice, whether it be Thanksgiving or Christmas. Those are usually not very productive days. Matter of fact, I think when I was coaching, probably the one day of practice I dreaded more than any was the first day back after a Christmas vacation. And, people are at home, laying around, you eat, I understand, having fun, and boy, that first day back is, you don't do a lot of X and O'ing, you do a lot of running and shooting. There we go.
Nice pass from Brooke Hartman to Camille Perry, and the 4th foul picked up by Grace Whitaker. So give the assist to Brooke Hartman. Started with a steal by Maddie Barnes. Plugs now 44-30, 3:38 remaining in the game. Camille Perry at the line.
That's good.
She sinks, completes the 3-point play and is back to a 15-point lead. That's going to be a foul on Daniela Galvez that will send Grace Whitaker to the line.
Speedway foul number 33, Daniela Galvez. On the line for the Bulldogs, Grace Whitaker.
Coach looking quickly, I think this is the first 1-on-1 free throw the entire game.
Wow.
They didn't have any free throws by either team the first half. In the second half, we've had some 2-shot free throws and completion of 3-point play free throws. This young lady for the Lady Bulldogs has as good a range on 3-point shots as 5'7" senior.
She doesn't have to alter her shot a lot. You doesn't have to bring it way down. It's a fluid motion.
Blocked by Camille Perry, and that's going to be Grace Whitaker's 5th foul.
Monrovia foul on number 14, Grace Whitaker.
That turned into a very close to a 3-point shooting foul to a player fouling out and us shooting free throws at the other end of the floor.
Brooke Hartman will go to the line
On the line
with the first 1-on-1 for the Spark Plugs of the night. Brooke Hartman hits her 4th point in the quarter, her 10th point on the night. And now back in the game, Maddie Golden will replace Lane Hooper, and I believe Melinda Bryant will be coming in if Brooke Hartman hits the next free throw. She'll be replaced by Melinda Bryant. So 46-32, 2:58 to go.
You know, we were talking about communicating earlier and how important that is. Well, on defense especially. I read about a coach, and it might have been Coach K, at Duke, but I'm not going to say for sure. But there were times in his practices where he would turn the lights out. Now, not total darkness, but to the point where it was not well lit like it is here, and that forced players to communicate even more and more. And just little things like that make you a better team. And if good teams communicate defensively all the time. I know many years ago when you could go to a Butler game before they got to be really, really good, and you could sit underneath the basket for $10. And I used to love to go to Butler games and just hear everybody down there communicating on both ends of defense. It was, and to show how physical it was, but it was so much fun to we always take our players to a game there. I think sometimes they didn't understand how important it was to communicate until they actually were in that setting.
What a great place to watch a game
the best.
At Hinkle, and what a great place to be, like you say, underneath the basket.
Yes.
You can appreciate the physical
Yes, the best.
part of college basketball. Rick Hartman misses the free throw. That's going to be a foul on Maddie Golden, I believe.
Speedway foul, number 24, Maddie Golden. On the line, shooting 2, Bulldogs, 34,
Mallory Willett will be at the line for Bulldogs, shooting 2. Hits the first for her 6th point of the quarter and 10 points on the night. Melinda Bryant back into the game, replacing Brooke Hartman. Willett misses her next free throw, and a rebound by Daniela Galvez. Move. Not sure whether 24-34 scored the last field goal, Coach. Do you know?
I thought it was 24, but wouldn't say.
I think that's correct. That's who I thought it was. Ashley Lewis. Lewis misses the 3 there, and it's going to be spark plug ball. 1:43 remaining in the game, and the Plugs lead by 11. Pass from Galvez to Maddie Golden for the miss. We've got a foul now. Daniela Galvez is going to go to the free throw line. The foul was on 21, Flower Bear. And Daniela Galvez for 2 free throws. Misses the first. Daniela has 5 points on the night. Misses the second as well, but it's going to be.
Hell, I was close too.
It's going to be spark plug ball, but the referee didn't see it that way. We're a long way, I guess, from where that ball went out of bounds.
Given where he was, and where we're at,
he's probably correct.
Yeah.
Wasn't any arguing from the Speedway side of the crowd.
Just kind of surprised that Monrovia is still back into their zone. I mean, at this point, we could just throw the ball around and run the last minute off.
Travel. Daniela Galvez, 1:03 left now, 11-point lead. This is one of those times we were talking about colors a minute ago where you're
Yes.
yellow, you're only taking layups. You don't have the green light on to take jump shots.
And red is you're getting fouled.
Yeah.
And it is. It's a good teaching method. It's things that players can understand. And
Mallory Willett with the three-point miss. Galvez with the rebound.
finish it off. Finish it off.
Maddie Golden with the field goal off the assist from Camille Perry. Two-point field goal by Flower Bear, no good. Maddie Barnes with the ball, and I'm sure the red light's on now, Coach.
Yes.
No more shots, and the Sparkplugs are
Good
going to
win.
win 48-35, so they'll move to 5-0 on the year.
Good win. First game back for a while, and a little sloppy at times, as you noted, but I think that was kind of expected. But one thing that's constant from what I've seen on the girls and the boys, they're going to play hard. And, they're going to make some mistakes, but they're always going to play hard, and they're going to be unselfish. And also, that is another conference win for us too, so that puts us 3-0 in the conference, which is huge.
We'll be here with the scoring in just a second. Wrap up of your scoring, and then in just a moment when they get out here we'll have 4 senior girls to talk to. But the scoring for your Sparkplugs, Melinda Bryant had 3 points on 1 3-point field goal. Brooke Hartman had 10 points with 3 3-point field goals and 1 for 2 from the free throw line. Camille Perry had 6 points with 2 3-pointers and 2 for 3 from the free throw line. Maddie Golden had 8 points with 4 2-point field goals. And Maddie Barnes had 16, the leading scorer in the game, with 3 3-point field goals, 3 2-point field goals, and 1 for 2 from the free throw line. And rounding out the scoring for the Sparkplugs, Daniela Galvez had 2 2-point field goals and was 1 for 3 from the free throw line for their total of 48. The Sparkplugs had 7 points in the first quarter, 17 in the second, 15 in the third, and 9 in the fourth for their scoring. For the Monrovia Lady Bulldogs, the leading scorer for them was number 14, Grace Whitaker, with 11 points on 3 field goals and 2 for 2 from the free throw line. Ashley Lewis had 8 points on 2 3-pointers and a 2-point field goal. Mallory Willett, the second leading scorer for the Lady Bulldogs, had 10 with 4 2-point field goals and was 2 for 5 from the free throw line. Harley Mobley had all 4 of her free throws go in, and she had 4 points, and Michaela Belcher 2 points. 11 points the first quarter for the Lady Bulldogs, 5 the second, 9 the third, and 10 the fourth. Once again, the Lady Sparkplugs with a 48-35 win in this first game of a doubleheader tonight. We will be back with some interviews with the 4 senior Lady Sparkplugs, and then on to the second game, the boys varsity Sparkplugs against the Monrovia Bulldog boys. We'll be right back. Okay, first of all, we've got 4 seniors here. We're going to talk to 2 at a time so we keep them spread out during these crazy COVID times. But why don't you begin, Maddie, with name and what your plans are after you get out of high school.
My name is Maddie Golden, and I'm going to college at Ball State. My name's Madison Barnes, and I'm not sure where I'm going to college yet.
Athletics? No athletics?
Yeah, I'm going to either play basketball or volleyball.
And what do you think, Maddie, your major, what do you think you'll pursue in college?
Elementary education. Entrepreneurship and interior design.
Ooh, that sounds pretty fancy. Next question. Where do you see yourself, and we're not going to hold you to this, Coach Probst and I aren't going to come back 10 years from now and say, you said 10 years ago you were going to be doing this, but 10 years after graduation, you're 28 years old, what do you see yourself doing? You said entrepreneurship and stuff,
Yeah.
like what's the plan?
I eventually want to own my own interior designing business, and yeah, that's about it.
Maddie?
Hopefully I'll be a 1st or 2nd grade teacher.
So elementary education. We got 2 Maddies up here, so let's start with Maddie Golden. Tell me your schedule, 1st through 7th period. I know you're e-learning now, but if you were here in classes, what would be your schedule for the day?
1st period, I am a office assistant. 2nd period, I take ceramics. 3rd period, I take AP literature. 4th period, I take AP computer science. 5th period, I take AP calculus. 6th period, I take AP psychology. And 7th period, I take AP government.
Now, for those of you out there that are listening that aren't sure what the AP means, that means advanced placement. She's trying to earn college credit while she's here as a high school student. And if you hear the word AP before a class, that means the class is harder than a typical class would be. So congrats on your schedule.
Thank you.
Maddie Barnes, your schedule.
My 1st period's trig. My 2nd period's anatomy. My 3rd period is English. My 4th period is AP Econ. My 5th period is AP Government. My 6th period is Gym, and then my 7th period ITA for Mr. Avery.
Good for you as well. Let's talk now about your favorite class. I won't put you on the spot. Sometimes in the past I've asked favorite teachers, but I don't want any of your teachers to be disappointed if they don't get picked. So let's talk about your favorite class, the one you're most excited or interested to go to, whether it's your favorite teacher or not.
My favorite class is AP Calculus. I love math and I love my teacher. And I don't know, the class just comes easy. He makes it easy. It's just easy to understand. And I've always liked math, so.
And that's Mr. Passwater, correct? And I've heard great things about him. I think he's been very successful in what he's done. We've had strong math with Mrs. Kilgore and Mr. Probst prior to him, but I understand he's a terrific teacher. So
He is.
Good perception. Your favorite class?
I would say AP Government with Mr. Todd or TA for Mr. Avery.
Okay. Last question I want to ask, and if you need to think about it for just a second, you have 2 seconds to think about it. Part of the advantage of high school sports, I think, is lessons you can learn that you can carry on after you're done and look back and say, I learned this from teammates or I learned this from a coach, and I've never forgotten it since I was involved in high school athletics. So we'll start with you, Maddie Barnes, on this question. What's something that you look back at your experience in high school sports, be it softball, volleyball, basketball, and say, this is what I'm going to take away from here that will make me a better person or will be important to me in my life, a lesson learned through high school sports?
I would say probably always being a teammate first and the relationships I've built with the girls.
And do you hear coaches talk about being a good teammate, or is that something that comes from within you?
Probably coaches.
Okay. And I think that's very valuable. I think it's become more and more important that there is no I in team kind of idea that you would carry on. Very good. Maddie Golden.
I think in high school basketball we learned, even in like practices and in games, that when somebody's on the ground you always pick them up off of the ground. Like everybody should help pick them up. And I don't know, I feel like that just made me a better person, and always looking out for other people instead of just myself, and helping pick other people up when they're down.
And I think that too is a very admirable thing, in that you don't see that very often. And I watch games differently than most people do, but one of the things I watch for is exactly what you mentioned. Do you hand the ball to the referee? Do you help opponents up as well as your teammates up? And so a good observation as well that will serve you well on down the road. Ladies, thank you. I appreciate your contribution for 4 years. Both of you have played a lot of minutes of high school basketball over a 4-year period, and you're to be congratulated for that. Don't stop though, keep going. You got a long way to go, okay? But thank you very much.
Thank you. You're welcome. Thank you.
Next two to come in will be Lane Hooper and Brooke Hartman. And once again, in the sake of spreading out, questions, let's start with you first, Lane. Name, and then what is your plan after you get out of high school?
Okay, my name is Lane Hooper, and I want to either attend IU or Bow State for nursing.
And my name is Brooke Hartman, and my plans are to attend Indiana University to studying accounting and business management.
So a family of IU people, huh?
Yeah.
10 years from now, with what you want to major in, what do you see yourself doing? What do you have any idea yet about what field of nursing, for example, or what do you see for yourself?
Yeah, hopefully I'll be a nurse practitioner in pediatric oncology.
So the little ones.
Yeah.
Good for you.
I'm probably looking forward to either being an accountant, managing a business, but probably even owning a business. Not sure what that's going to be like or what it is, but yeah.
Do I see black eyes?
What?
Do you have a black eye? It looks like your eye's dark underneath. Maybe it's oh, it is. It's a
No, she's
reflection
just
off your
tired.
mask. I thought maybe you got an elbow or something in the game. As I told the other ladies, I'd like to know your schedule, and I guess the point of doing this is to show people out there watching the kind of academics that have become the culture here at Speedway High School and the types of classes you take. Lane, why don't you start first and go from first period to seventh period?
Okay, so for first period I have AP Literature. Second period I have Yearbook. Third period I have AP Statistics. Fourth period I have AP Computer Science. Fifth period I have AP Government. Sixth period I have Gym. And then seventh period I have Anatomy.
Like I said before, the AP classes, more of a struggle, or not, I shouldn't say a struggle, more rigorous classes, and sound like you've got several of them. Congratulations on your schedule.
First period, I have AP Literature. Second period, I have AP Spanish. Third period, I'm a TA for Mr. Avery. Fourth period, I have Government and Econ. Fifth period, I'm an AP Calculus. Sixth period, Weights. And seventh period, Anatomy.
Like I asked them, and we'll start this question with you, Brooke, favorite class, not necessarily favorite teacher, but the class you look most forward to going to?
Definitely, I've always been a favorite, or the math subject's always been my favorite, so AP Calculus for sure. It's just I love problem solving, and I want to do accounting in my future, so it has a lot to do with numbers and math, so it's definitely in my
And
favorite.
like I said earlier, you have a good AP Calculus teacher, don't
Yes,
you?
I do.
And you're,
Yeah, my favorite subject's Anatomy because I want to go into the healthcare field, so it kind of just plays a role
right,
into it. So.
right. And has that had a part in why you want to do that, who you've had in classes, or is that something you've wanted to do all along?
I just really enjoy helping people in the healthcare field. Has always interested me, and yeah, I just like learning about the human body. And
Good for you. As I asked them, a lot of different lessons can be learned being involved in high school sports, whether you go on afterwards or not, and obviously the overwhelmingly large number do not go on. They play high school and that's it. So the question is, what have you learned that you will say when I'm 30 years old, when I'm 40 years old, I'll carry this with me of something I've learned, and I know you've both been involved in a variety of sports like the other two have. So not necessarily just in basketball, it could be in basketball, but what have you learned that you can say this is something that I'm going to be better off down the road for having learned as a high school athlete? Brooke, let's go with you first.
I would definitely say, especially this year and during this time, to never take anything for granted, to always, like, since you never know when your last day could be at school. You never know when our last day could be here, considering we were out for the past 2 weeks. So it's been tough, but it's always do your best every single day, work hard, be a good person. And that goes along with, yes, we're all basketball players, but being a good person and having good character comes before being a good basketball player.
Very good.
Mine's probably work ethic and then time management skills, because I think balancing school and then balancing like sports is really important, especially because if you don't do good in school, then you don't really get the opportunity to do sports. And I think like the time management skills go into playing like not only in high school, but it will lead you into like college, and then like when you have a job, you also need to be able to manage your time as well. So I just think also if you work as hard, like you never, just like Brooke said, you never know when like our last day here is going to be, and you never know when like your last day of school is going to be. Like we weren't expecting to be online, so I just think it's really important to just work as hard as you can for the time that you have.
Was certainly a year that we will never forget. Hindsight is 20/20, and it'll never be something we won't remember when this crazy year that we've had so far. I appreciate you. Good luck the rest of the season. You got quite a few games left and tournaments and so on and so forth, and best of luck to you.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
In an effort to allow our student athletes to continue to play the game they love, please adhere to all COVID-related expectations, including wearing your mask at all times, sitting with family members in small groups, remaining socially distanced whenever possible, and leaving the building shortly after the game is ended. Now, ladies and gentlemen, tonight's lineup. For the visiting Bulldogs, at guard, number 3, a senior, Joe Williams. At guard, number 20, a senior, Alex Willis. At forward, number 11, a junior, Hunter Lee. At forward, number 24, a senior, Cole Eastman. At forward, number 40, a senior, Hunter Ray. Head coach of the Bulldogs, Kyle Walker, assisted by Brady Crow, Doug Thrasher, and Ben Curry. Ladies and gentlemen, the starting lineup for the Speedway.
Starting lineup for the Bulldogs will be Joe Williams, a 6'1 senior, number 3. Hunter Leeds at forward, a 6'2 junior, number 11. At guard, number 20, Alex Willett, a 6'1 senior. At guard, Cole Eastman, a 6'2 senior, number 24. And rounding out the starting lineup, Hunter Ray, a 6'4 senior, number 40. For the Spark Plugs will be Carson Harrison, a 6' senior, number 3. Jacob Wachter, number 22, a 5'11 senior. Reese Walker, a 5'9 junior, number 24. Drew Valentine, a 5'8 senior. And Nate Metallic, number 30, a 6'3 sophomore. Once again, Coach, quickly, the Plugs have gone 1-2 on the season. Coach Charles Bennett has not had his leading scorer, Drew Valentine, and Jackson Harris, a 6'4 junior, the last 2 games due to contact tracing for COVID. So we mentioned the girls program out 2 weeks because of head coach Joe Smith testing positive. Monrovia's girls missed 3 girls tonight because of contact tracing. And the Plugs are at full strength tonight for the first time since the season opener against North Montgomery. Monrovia in a man-to-man defense. Drew Valentine with a good crossover dribble. Jacob Wachter misses the 2-pointer. Rebound pulled down by Alex Willett. We're looking for a good game on the boys' side of the ledger.
Had a tough weekend last weekend shooting the basketball, both nights.
3-pointer by Alex Willett. Drew Valentine was sorely missed. Not that it's a one-man show by any stretch of the imagination, but he draws attention that leaves other people open, and like you said, the Spark Plugs struggle to shoot the ball well in both games that Drew Valentine missed. Nate Metallic with the steal. Misses the layup. Carson Harrison misses the shot in short. Blocked the next shot, and the Plugs come away empty-handed.
Monrovia is coming off of, I think I mentioned earlier with Coach Bennett, 2 really successful seasons. 18-6 last year, 19-7 the year before. Having lost some key players from those teams, but a lot of these players are back, and we talked about this the other week. They know how to win.
Drew Valentine on the drive. Scores the first points for the Plugs at 6-2 Monrovia. Plugs, as we've talked in the other games, short on size this year. 8-2 as Monrovia comes out quickly with a layup there by Joe Williams. Nate Metallic, a long 3 misses. Drew Valentine with 3 from the corner misses. And the Plugs have come out a little cool to start with,
yep.
Coach. Nate Metallic. The layup. It's 8-4. Reese Walker guarding Joe Williams. A bad pass by the Bulldogs, and Spark Plugs had the ball out of bounds, trailing 8-4.
Drew's only game this year was North Montgomery. The first game, if I remember correctly, he was 5 for 5 from threes in the first half. Might have been in the first quarter.
In the first quarter, he was 5 for 5. Ended up with 21 points. A very unselfish game, but 5 3-point attempts in the first quarter and hit all 5 of them. Nice pass inside to Reese Walker. Misses the layup. Good feed from Carson Harrison. Leeds, the ball rims out. I'm not sure about that one.
I think I'm away from the call, but
I went off Hunter Ray.
I was going to call it the other way.
I think the Speedway fans thought the same thing. Joe Williams to Leeds.
It's a good rebound there.
That field goal by Hunter Leeds, number 11. I said Leeds a moment ago. Willett had 2 threes. Nate Metallic on the miss. Bulldogs with a 10-4 lead, 3:50 remaining in this first quarter. Joe Williams misses, and that's going to be Speedway ball off number 24, Cole Eastman. So Alex Willett with 2 threes, Hunter Leeds with a 2-point field goal, Joe Williams with a 2-point field goal for the Bulldogs. For the Sparkplugs, Nate Metallic a 2-pointer and Drew Valentine a 2-pointer for their 4 points. 10-4, 3:31 remaining in this first quarter. Jacob Wachter
That's
for
a
3. 10-7 now the lead for the Bulldogs. Speedway and its preferred defense, the man-to-man defense. Lots of switches. That's a jump ball, blocked by Nate Metallic.
Nate was just a little bit late getting there on the help, but it all turned out.
And I didn't think he was going to get this.
I didn't either.
Joe Williams for 3, no good. Carson Harrison comes down with a rebound, stolen by Joe Williams. And he puts it in.
Good move.
Drives
Good move.
and hits the layup. A left-handed reverse layup for Jacob Wachter, and that's his 5th point on the night.
Jacob can score. I mean, he had a tough weekend last weekend, but I'm glad to see him hit a 3 here and a 2, and hopefully get started off to a good night.
Well, Coach Mazzardi told me he'd been shooting lights out in practice prior to the last 2 games. But not only did he not shoot well, nobody else did either in the 2 losses that they had. Both of them against good teams. Errant pass for the Bulldogs. The Sparkplugs come up with a turnover. Carson Harrison for 3, and that's good. The score's tied at 12. Williams hits another 2-pointer, his 6th point of the quarter. I know Coach Bennett, when he was talking to you, I heard him talk about he's the guy that makes them go. Joe Williams, number 3, Wachter with a nice layup from the baseline, and that's his 7th point on the night. We're tied again at 14. Drew Valentine pulls down the miss from Alex Willett. And that's going to end the first quarter in a 14-14 tie.
The Plugs found themselves down a couple of times in that quarter by 6. 8-2 and 10-4. They never led. But at the same time, they battled back to get a 14, as you said, a 14-14 tie here. The last couple of minutes of the first quarter, started to hit some shots, clicked a little bit better on offense. Again, they haven't, tell you something a little bit unusual in the first quarter, unless I missed it. I don't think we had a substitution in the first quarter. Normally,
we did not. We did not have a free throw.
No. Normally, we go to the bench a little bit earlier, as you said, with the girls' team mixing up. But it's kind of, in a sense, is a first game in kind of a sense with this group. So I'm sure that had something to do with it.
So first quarter, once again, 14-all. Most of the quarter led by Monrovia. Had 2 ties at 12-all and 14-all, I believe. That's the way the first quarter ended. And the Spark Plugs are going to stay with that same lineup. For Monrovia into the game, number 15, Trent Hale. Number 33, Gavin Followell. Spark plug ball, start of the second quarter. Once again here at Morris Pollard Gymnasium, I'm Tom Smith along with Ron Probst, bringing you tonight's game. Travel on the part of Reese Walker gives the ball back to the Bulldogs. Followell's shot misses. Rebound pulled down by Nate Metallic. Drew Valentine on the drive. Foul's going to be on Trent Hale.
Coach Swafford's telling his player, and I completely agree with him, is he had great position. He just turned the last second and did not let Drew Valentine hit him straight on. Otherwise, it would have been an offensive foul.
Drew Valentine's first free throw of the year. Again, missing 2 games due to COVID. He hits both of them, and Speedway has their first lead at 16-14 and puts on the pressure now. Back to their man-to-man defense. Hunter Ray with a miss. Valentine on the drive, stops, pulls up, 2-pointer, misses. The rebound pulled down by Gavin Followell. Followell, a 6'2" junior for the Bulldogs. Bad pass leads to a Reese Walker interception and a layup at the other end. And that's Walker's first points of the night, and the Plugs have a 4-point lead. Joe Williams on the drive, the shot blocked by Reese Walker. Metallic toward the basket, a nice pass to Carson Harrison right up in front of the basket, but Harrison a little too hard on the shot. The Bulldogs come away with it. Williams for 3 out front. Full timeout taken by Monrovia. Joe Williams with 9 of the 17 points for the Bulldogs.
in their history, the Bulldogs have won 7 sectionals, 2 regionals, and those were back in the early 2000s, I believe, when they had John Staniford. For those of you who don't know, Staniford was a standout athlete in basketball and football, and originally I think had committed to or was really interested in playing basketball at Evansville. And a lot of people questioned Joe Tiller, why would you recruit and sign this skinny kid from Monrovia, Indiana, and at one point was a leading receiver in the history of the Big Ten. So, yeah, a couple other names from Monrovia over the years. Probably their most famous graduate, guy by the name of Brance McCracken, Tom, who won 2 national championships at IU, and one of their coaches who we know, I'm not sure, I bet if we mention the situation, people will know. Jerry Hoover coached there for a while. Coach Hoover recently resigned at Blackford County, 85 years old. He was a little bit worried about the COVID, but Coach Hoover was a lot of places, including Monrovia High School.
Ben Davis as well.
And Ben Davis.
Carson Harrison for 2. Looked like Chuck Connors, the rifleman.
Yeah, absolutely.
He used to always come out and have an air gauge that he'd check the ball with, but he's had an illustrious career, and like you say, the last one being at Blackford.
One of the legends in a sense, when you look at the entire history of everything and places he's been.
You know, Coach, what happened there, and I don't think the referee saw it, but their kid setting a pick, hit little shoulder, extended his pick a little bit, hit Nate Metallic and knocked him into the guy he was guarding, and that ended up with a foul on Nate Metallic. Each team now with 1 foul. Cale Bennett now into the game for the Sparkplugs. Joe Williams misses. Drew Valentine helps up the Monrovia player, just what one of the girls was talking about sportsmanship stuff.
Yep.
Being a good teammate for all you young players out there, being a good teammate has always been important, but I think being emphasized more and more in recent times of the importance of not about me, but about we. Reese Walker on the drive, misses, gets his own rebound, kicks it out to Nate Metallic. Jumper by Metallic, no good, and we're going to have a foul on Cale Bennett. Also into the lineup for the Sparkplugs for the first time, Evan Owens, number 20. Austin Leeds enters the game for the first time, a 6'5" junior for the Bulldogs, replacing number 40, Hunter Ray.
Good rebound.
Joe Williams with a rebound, misses. Evan Owens comes up with the ball for the Sparkplugs. Drew Valentine with a drive and a circus shot 2-point field goal for Drew Valentine. And that's his 6th point on the night. I wasn't sure he was going to get through that little crease to begin with and get it in the basket secondly. And for the Sparkplugs, Carson Harrison replaces Nate Metallic. Give him a breather. Carson Harrison has been out. 30-second timeout taken by the Sparkplugs. So the score 22-17. Exactly half of this second quarter left. 4 minutes left in the half. 22-17 Sparkplugs.
You know, the game started off like Monrovia was going to score 100 points tonight. They came out firing, but I think more than offensively, Speedway has adjusted defensively since the start of the game. Made it very difficult since about the 4-minute mark of the first half, or first quarter. Up to that point, things were pretty easy for Monrovia, but the last quarter, so to speak here, things have not been that easy for them.
Well, for the Bulldogs, Alex Willett started out with 2 threes for their first 6 points, I believe, and I don't know that he's shot since that time. Maybe a shot. Valentine drives, fades on a 2-point shot, no good. Joe Williams comes down with a rebound for the Bulldogs. We said earlier, a lot of switches for the spark plugs. One of the ways you can do that is there's not a whole lot of difference in height.
Exactly.
You know, you're not switching a 5'8" guy onto a 6'4" guy. That
big advantage.
A good steal by Evan Owens.
You know, the term now used a lot is positionless basketball, which means you don't necessarily call yourself a 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 or 5. You play, and most notably, Milwaukee Bucks are very good at that. A lot of players, one great player obviously, but a lot of switching on Miami, same way, switching on a lot of things.
Drew Valentine on the jumper. That's his 6th point on the quarter, 8th point on the game.
Wow. Oh, that
Nice field goal by Trent Hale. 6'4" junior of the Bulldogs.
That was a big basket for Monrovia. They've been struggling here.
Cale Bennett on the drive, gets his own rebound. I think we're going to have a foul on number 24. Cole Eastman on the foul. Spark Plugs have the ball out of bounds, and back into the game for the Spark Plugs is Jacob Walker and Nate Metallic, replacing Cale Bennett and Evan Owens. So like the girls' game with Coach Smith, Coach Bennett getting his starters a breather. Drew Valentine on the missed 3-pointer. Joe Williams with the ball for the Bulldogs. Willett. Williams from the corner for 3, no good. Rebound comes down to Alex Willett.
Not sure why they don't go in to number 40 there, Hunter Ray.
Exactly right.
Huge,
he had Drew Valentine posted. And
yeah.
you're exactly right. Willett from the corner. Get a little push by 11 that got away with it. Finally a field goal by 24. Cole Eastman, his first score of the night on a good offensive rebound. 24-21. No good on the shot by Nate Metallic. I think he had a little, I was going to say he called it, but I thought it was a little push off there on number 11. Hunter Leeds, his first foul, and the Spark Plugs will get the ball back. Be interesting to see if we play for 1 at the end. 32 seconds remaining in this first quarter. I'd take layups, but I'm not sure I'd take any more than that before.
Coaches are yelling, Drew, go get it, but number 20.
Carson Harrison for three. Good half. Willett misses, and the Sparkplugs lead 27-21 at halftime, and we'll be back with your first half scoring and a wrap-up of the first half. Once again, we are back here at Morris Pollard Gymnasium at Speedway High School. I'm Tom Smith and Ron Probst, both of us former varsity basketball coaches here at Speedway High School who enjoy bringing you spark plug basketball. Your scoring for the first half for Monrovia Bulldogs: Joe Williams, their leading scorer with 9. Alex Willett has 6. Cole Eastman has 2. Trent Hale has 2. And Hunter Leeds had 2 for their total of 21. For the spark plugs, Carson Harrison has 8. Drew Valentine 8. Jacob Wachter 7. Reese Walker 2. And Nate Metallic 2. So all the spark plug scoring has come from their starting lineup, and they lead 27-21 here at halftime against the Monrovia Bulldogs. Coach, thoughts on the first half?
Biggest lead by Monrovia early, 6. Biggest lead by the spark plug, 7. So the whole game's been played within that range. After we got through the first 4 or 5 minutes, I thought the last quarter and a half really belonged to us. I really enjoy watching how hard our kids play. It's on both defensively especially. There's no quit. For their size, we're physical. Hopefully, once we get some games under our belt with everybody, the offense becomes more efficient. This could be these are some tough games. These aren't easy games. Beech Grove last weekend, as you alluded to, the Beech Grove and University weekend. That's a challenging weekend with a full squad. So, and then tomorrow night, of course, we have Greenfield Central, who's a 4A. So these games are always, the Monrovia games and Speedway games are always good, hard-fought games.
2 comments segueing what you just said, that Drew Valentine and reserve Jackson Smith have been out 2 of the 3 games, back tonight for the first time. Drew tied for the leading scorer for the spark plugs in this first half. But secondly, the schedule coming up, we'll be here tomorrow night again to do the Greenfield Central game. Be inbounded by Monrovia.
Good start.
I believe the foul's going to be on 15. It is Trent Hale. It's his second. Not many fouls called the first half. Pretty quick first half. Reese Walker, Jacob Wachter, Carson Harrison, Nate Metallic, and Drew Valentine on the floor for the Plugs, their original starting lineup. Carson Harrison for 3, no good. Rebound hauled in by Alex Willett of the Bulldogs. Alex Willett looking inside to get it to number 40, Hunter Ray. A foul's been called on Jacob Wachter, his first. Team's first this second half. Hunter Ray short on his short little jumper. Metallic on the dribble. Reese Walker. Trent Hale scores his 4th point of the night. First points of this second half. Metallic is fouled. He'll go to the free throw line. Fouls on him, number 11. Hunter leads his second foul. Metallic will go to the free throw line. Metallic with 1 field goal in the first half for 2 points. Yep, gets the free throw. Comment that Coach Mazzardi made the other day about Nate, said his shot has improved, the rotation on his shots improved, doing a lot of hard work by himself over the summer. And that's a credit to him. His 4th point on the night. You know, Coach, from having done what you did, that players are made during the summertime.
Yep.
Nice pass from Metallic back to Drew Valentine for his 3. So the assist to Metallic. Drew Valentine's 11th point on the night, and the Plugs have a 9-point lead, their biggest lead. Joe Williams stops, pulls up. Drew Valentine comes down with a rebound. Mishandles the ball, comes back the other way. Good hustle by Jacob Walker to break up a layup attempt by the Bulldogs. I was going to say, a little travel there. Foot slid. You know, just like there, you had a switch between Jacob Walker, who would be listed as a forward, with Reese Walker, who would be listed as a guard, and both of them picking up on a screen. Joe Williams, probably the most potent weapon that the Bulldogs have up to this point in the game anyway. Drew Valentine with a nice drive and a field goal. His 5th point of the quarter, 13th point on the night. Plugs lead by 11. Good backdoor play by Joe Williams, but a nice come over to help by Nate Metallic. He brings it down. A nice pass to Carson Harrison for the layup.
I'm a little surprised here that the Bulldogs aren't calling timeout. This is nearing critical time here. I know it's still
Coach,
halfway through the third
we think
quarter.
alike, because I was just getting ready to say it's going to be Dick Vitale with "You better get a TO,
Yeah,
baby."
well, I think you're exactly right. You know, some coaches would say, well, you got yourself in that trouble, you play your way through it. Well, it doesn't always work.
Nice pass inside to Hunter Ray, but he misses it. Wachter comes down with a rebound. Valentine on the dribble to Harrison, back to Valentine. Plugs lead by 13 now. Turnover gives the ball back to the Bulldogs. Hunter Ray on the dribble, pulls up inside, and hits a 2-pointer. Timeout taken by Monrovia. Monrovia scored 4 points this quarter. Trent Hale with 2 and Hunter Ray with 2. Over the first 5.5 minutes of this quarter. For the Plugs this quarter, Carson Harrison 2, Nate Metallic 2 free throws, Drew Valentine with a 3-pointer and a 2-pointer. For the Plugs, 9 points. 36-25, 3:26 remaining in the quarter. High school basketball, it's great for those of you that weren't listening at the end of, or weren't with us at the end of the girls' game today. 4 girls, seniors, came up and talked about what they've learned from high school sports, and answers were so impressive. about being a good teammate and learning work ethic, and just a sign of maturity and coaches they've been blessed to have while here at Speedway High School. And you were the first one to start asking that question. It's a good one. It's a great one because it causes you to reflect back on what am I getting out of this time that I'm spending doing that. And obviously for those 4 girls, great, mature,
Absolutely.
honest answers about reflecting on their sports career here at Speedway High School. Also impressive, the academic classes that all 4 of them are taking, and the number of AP classes and so on. Plugs misses a shot inside, Hunter Ray back, and he scores his second field goal of the quarter. Plug swinging around the perimeter. Nate Metallic on the drive and a layup, and a nice move by Nate Metallic. And he's got his 4th point in this quarter, 6th point on the night.
Speedway foul on number 22, Jacob Walker.
Jacob Wachter on the foul, his second.
Substitution for the Spartans.
The end of the game is Evan Owens for Jacob Wachter, as he'll get a break. Nobody in foul trouble for the Spark Plugs or the Bulldogs. Reese Walker's done a nice job on Joe Williams tonight. Now there's a lot of switching, as we've alluded to, but Reese Walker's done a nice defensive job. Good hustle by Drew Valentine. Was the call that Drew kicked it, Coach?
It looked that way, and that's the only thing I could have been because it wasn't travel.
Van Hale misses the 3-pointer, but good hustle by the Bulldogs. Hale comes in. I think we're going to have foul on Nate Metallic. That'll be his second foul as well.
On the line, number 15,
Trent Hale on the line for Monrovia. Hits the first. And the second. 38-29. The Bulldogs cut into the Spark Plugs lead. Reese Walker on the drive, misses the layup. And a run out to Alex Willett for his first field goal since the first quarter. Reese Walker with a jumper, no good. Carson Harrison with a rebound, shot blocked. I think the Speedway fans thought a foul on the play.
So did the Speedway announcers, I think. I'm not sure.
I can't see how they could miss that hitting the bar up there.
I don't either. Wow, tough shot.
Nate Metallic with a little soft floater in the lane for his 8th point on the night, 6 in this quarter. Plugs lead by 9, 40 seconds remaining in this third quarter. Joe Williams misses.
Hey, you're right. Reese Walker has done a really good job on Williams tonight. He's taken off-balance shots, fadeaway shots, and you can tell, as it says on the scouting report, that he's the guy that can make them go. And so far, knock on wood, we've not really given him that chance.
25 seconds remaining. Plugs lead by 9, 40-31. And that's a charging foul on Trent Hale, his third. Eight-tenths of a second left. So it'll be a catch and maybe a dribble. Official saying something to Coach Bennett. Nate Metallic misses. Plugs lead 40-31.
For a game that's been up and down as much as it has been, and every time not every time, but many times I make comments like this, it comes back to haunt me, but to only be giving up 31 points through 3 quarters in a game like this is outstanding. Through the first 2 games of the season, Monrovia is averaging around 59 points a game. They've defeated Eminence in the first game of the season, 72-46. Lost at Cascade, which was a conference game. Last weekend, they lost 46-58. But again, 31 points through 3 quarters, I think, is outstanding defense.
Well, it speaks to what we've talked about, how hard the Spark Plugs work on defense. And like I say, their staple is a man-to-man defense. Monrovia scored 14 points the first quarter, 7 the second, and 10 that quarter for their 31. Spark Plugs 14, 13, and 13, even balanced scoring over the Hunter Ray, number 40. And that's the fourth foul on Monrovia this half, 3 on the Spark Plugs. Coach, we talked during the girls' game about how few of free throws were shot. In this game, there's been a total of 6 free throws shot by both teams. 4 for the Spark Plugs, 2 for the Bulldogs.
You know, some game probably won't do it right now, but we're going to talk about setting a screen, doing it properly, effectively. See a lot of screens being set here tonight, but a lot of them aren't effective and a lot of them aren't done properly. Sticking a leg out, and a lot of them aren't being utilized by the dribbler either.
Speedway foul, number 24, Reese Walker.
Foul on Reese Walker, his first.
Bulldogs, number 3, Joe Williams.
I'm going to guess this is not a guy you want to see at the line very often.
We've said on here many times, good shooters are usually good free throw shooters.
Yes.
Joe Williams hits both free throws for his 11 points tonight. Plugs lead by 7. Carson Harrison on a nice drive. Timeout taken by the spark plug. That's Harrison's 12th point on the night.
Ladies and gentlemen, at the end of today's contest, if you can please be courteous and help pick up any trash in your area. Please have the trash cans located through.
So 6:39 left in the game. Plugs lead by 9.
Also, based on all COVID protocols, please exit the building shortly after the game is ended. We ask fans from both teams to not congregate on the floor and stand.
Once again, a reminder, we will be back here tomorrow for Sparkplug's game against Greenfield Central tomorrow night. As you mentioned, a 4A school. Played them last year for the first time at Greenfield Central.
I think Coach Bennett may have a connection to the coach at Greenfield Central, maybe through Beech Grove, or a friendship I know has involved. It's a 4A, we'll talk more about it tomorrow night. It's a 4A school that kind of gets lost a lot. I know early in their existence had a lot of success in football, won a couple of state championships.
Austin leads into the game for the Bulldogs. .65 junior. Coach Swafford asking how could that ball go out of bounds when his player was falling down. And I think he feels like he got pushed, fouled by a Speedway player. Drew Valentine on the jumper on a nice pass from Reese Walker. And that's Valentine's 15th point on the night, and the Plugs lead by 11, 6 minutes left in the game.
A little bit too tight.
That's Valentine's first foul of the night. As I said earlier, neither team has anybody in foul trouble. Trent Hale has 3 for the Bulldogs, but Joe Williams with the ball for the Bulldogs.
Wow, that's a tough shot there.
Austin leads with a tough shot. 6'5 junior. His first field goal on the night. Carson Harrison for 3 and the miss.
Oh.
Alex Willett with his 10th point on the night. We now have a 7-point game again.
Tom, was that a 3? That was a 2-pointer?
No, 2-pointer.
Okay.
Drew Valentine.
That's good. That was on 22 of the Bulldogs.
Foul on 22. Austin leads.
On the line, shooting 1, Drew Valentine.
Valentine misses a free throw. His first miss of the year. Plugs lead by 9. You know, it seems so strange with the restrictions on fans and so on. It was quiet as could be
And
when
no
the free throw was being shot.
No band. A big one for me.
Metallic picks up his 3rd foul. Now Hunter Ray at the line. He misses the first free throw.
We've both coached or have attended scrimmages at starts of seasons, whether they be boys or girls, and all these games right now seem like scrimmage situations.
Ray misses both free throws, so the Plugs retain their 9-point lead. A nice backdoor pass from Nate Metallic, a great assist to Drew Valentine for his 19th point on the night.
Not sure how that pass got through there, but wow. Talk about threading the needle.
Austin Willett. Correction, Alex Willett for 3. Carson Harrison for 2. Plugs have a 10-point lead, 50-40 with 3:50 left in the game. Joe Williams splits it. Nate Metallic gets his hand on it.
You get out of the lane, there we go.
Spark Plugs have outscored them 10-9 this quarter so far.
Speedway foul, number 32.
Second foul on Drew Valentine. Seventh foul for the Spark Plugs, so Joe Williams is going to go to the line again. That's not what you want to happen,
No.
as we said before.
Nope, that's
Nope, missed a free throw. Plugs lead by 9 with the ball. Jacob Walker misses, but Carson Harrison gets a rebound to Nate Metallic. Slides in, layup, misses. Carson Harrison with a good offensive rebound there. Into the game for the Bulldogs. Hunter Leeds, number 11, replacing Austin Leeds, his brother. And we've got a timeout taken by the Spark Plugs. 50-41, 2:48 left to go in the game.
be interesting here to see what's being discussed in the huddle. I think more than changes, reminders. We're not going to change anything we're doing on defense. Things are working. I would think at this point, you'd want to make sure you got everybody to the boards. I mean, that would be something I'd re-emphasize. Fast break baskets are good, sure, but right now, eliminating them to one bad shot per possession is huge. And maybe offensively, you know, coming out of the timeout, maybe we'll run a special play, but sometimes on timeouts, you're going to see something changed. And in this one here, I think it's more of reminders. Guys, we've got 2:48. You know, a lot of times, a little bit less than this, but the only way you can lose this game here is if you don't execute what we are supposed to do.
Right.
So do it.
Take care of the ball.
Exactly.
On offense.
Reminders. You know, Purdue, the other night, if you watched it on TV, had a 20-point lead against Miami, and sometimes things don't start to go awry a little bit, and you go like, well, it's not going to hurt that much. All of a sudden, you look up, and it's down to 5 and 7 points. You don't want to do many of those things.
Jacob walked on a layup, misses it.
Special play set up by Monrovia. And a timeout.
That's Joe Williams' 6th point of the quarter, 15 on the night, and the Plugs' lead shrinks to 6. Feel a lot more comfortable if we got it back to 8
Yes.
and back to 10.
Yeah, that's 2 possessions is especially when you're playing against a team that has a couple players that can shoot threes. That's
Been said many times, but the threes change the game
oh,
in many ways.
oh, I remember the year that it went into effect. I was still up north coaching, and
Nate Metallic for 3, and that's going to be a foul on Carson Harrison.
Speedway foul number 3, Carson
The
Harrison.
bad part about that, they're in the 1-on-1. Monrovia still got 2 more fouls before we get into 1-on-1. On the second one, they got a free one coming up. This is Trent Hale with a 1-on-1.
we had a push off.
Speedway foul number 30.
Nate Metallic, that's his 4th.
At the same time, this is where you get better. These sorts of games, this is the experience you want to have your team put through. Oh, wow. I think we may have gotten a break on that one. Wow. Kind of a bad 10 seconds there.
Yeah,
Missed
two real mistakes there of not being able to come up with a clean rebound on.
we missed a free throw. They missed a free throw and a foul. Another miss. Turnover.
Monrovia calls the timeout. I believe they may have 1 left. Trent Hale short on a 3-pointer. Spark Plugs escape on that possession without giving up points. Williams with the miss. Joe Williams with the foul, his 1st. The next one will put the Spark Plugs in the 1-on-1. Nate Metallic will inbounds for the Plugs.
Might go long.
Minute 12 to go.
Yeah, we're right around a minute to play with 6 points up. We don't need to be in a hurry now to do anything.
And that's a foul on Trent Hale. Spark Plugs will have the ball out of bounds. That's Hale's 4th.
Monrovia foul on number 15, Trent Hale.
Correction, I forgot the Joe Williams
Right,
foul
forgot
down here.
that.
So we are on 1-on-1 with, we got Joe Williams had fouled down underneath the basket. So Drew Valentine will go to the line with a 1-on-1. Misses it.
And we're having some of those things happen that 45 seconds. And I think we're all thinking the same. I think the coaches and the fans are all thinking the same thing. As we got the game under control.
Reese Walker with a nice steal, and Joe Williams with the foul. Walker will go to the line.
Monrovia foul number 3, Joe Williams.
You know, for all you young players out there, Reese Walker tonight has 2 points, a field goal in the second quarter, but he's been the star, in my opinion, defensively with the job he's done on Joe Williams. Now, Joe Williams has 15 points, and Reese hadn't been on him with all those 15 points, but Reese Walker has done a nice job on defense.
When I was little, my dad would say, well, such and such didn't score a lot, played a good floor game, and I never really understood what he meant until I started watching a lot more. And he goes, now watch this. It's like, well, you're exactly right.
Walker hits 2 big free throws. 28 seconds to go. Plugs lead by 8.
No second shots here.
Willett with the miss. Rebound by Valentine.
Bring it out. All right, give him.
Spark Plugs are going to come away with a 52-44 win tonight. So a doubleheader win for the Plugs girls and boys, and we will be right back with your scoring for tonight. You gonna do this?
Yeah, that's fine. Doesn't matter. No, I don't think we need both of us. I mean, if you want to do it, go ahead. I don't care.
No.
Okay. I mean, I think one, it's like, there's only 2 or 3 questions you ask. So, can you pass me one of those, Smitty? So anyway, Harold Taylor had a team at Hauser.
You both doing the wrap?
We're going to both do the wrap-up, but I'm going to talk to Chuck.
Okay.
That makes sense? I'll wait till he gets coming up to put this in. Okay. All right.
Yeah, we ordered new back.
I'm always afraid I'm going to say something that shouldn't be.
This is Tom Smith back here at Morris Pollard Gymnasium, where the Sparkplugs tonight defeated the Monrovia Bulldogs 52-44 for a great win, a conference win for the Sparkplugs tonight. Sparkplugs scoring tonight, leading scorer for the Plugs was Drew Valentine with 19 points. Carson Harrison had 14. Jacob Wachter had 7. Reese Walker had 4. Nate Metallic 8. Kind of a little unusual thing for a Speedway basketball team. All the points scored by the starting 5 tonight. That usually doesn't happen, but it did tonight and led to 52 points with a victory over Monrovia again. We'll just mention the top scorers from Monrovia, and that was Joe Williams, number 3, had 15 points. Alex Willett had 13 points. Monrovia jumped off to a 6-0 lead. They also led 10-4. Their biggest lead was 4 points. The Sparkplugs came back to tie it at 12 and again at 14. And then the Sparkplugs led at halftime 27-21, 40-31 at the end of 3 quarters, and once again wrapped up a 52-44 victory for the Sparkplugs tonight over the Monrovia Bulldogs. Tonight we have the pleasure of having 2 of our seniors here that we want to talk to give you a little information about the type of kid that we have on a basketball team, and we talked the whole game about how hard you guys work defensively. So before we start, congratulations on what you do, the switches you made and the things you did, because from after they got the 6-point lead with Willett's 2 3-pointers right at the start of the game, you guys, I think defense is what won the basketball game for you. First of all, let's start with you, Carson. Tell us name and what you plan to do after graduation this year.
My name's Carson Harrison, and I'm looking to attend Purdue University after high school, and I want to go into veterinary medicine.
And I will tell you before we go to Drew, veterinary medicine is harder to get in vet school, or was, probably still is, than it is med school. So congratulations. That's a tough field to go in, and I'm sure you're going to be successful. Drew?
My name is Drew Valentine. I'm a senior here at Speedway, and my plan is I'm going to go play basketball at DePaul, and then I plan to study business. So,
if we were to look at yourself in veterinary medicine and business, obviously you want to be a veterinarian. Any special, just general vet working on dogs, cats, all kinds of things, or farm animals, or you have any preference yet, or have you even thought about it?
I've thought about it a little bit. Probably house pets usually, because I love dogs and whatnot. After that, probably I'd want to open my own veterinary practice somewhere warm.
Somewhere warm.
Yeah.
Good answer.
so business, obviously, it's a broad, study, but I plan to do real estate at some point. So I just feel like business would be a good thing to look into, and learn all the aspects of how business works, and I feel like that would help with real estate. So.
Very good. Schedule here at Speedway High School.
Well, right now we're online, so I have 5 classes on Monday, Wednesday.
Let's go when you come back, January 11th or whatever it is, 1 through 7.
I got first period is AP Lit, and then I got second period, which is ceramics, and then third period is AP Environmental Science, fourth is AP Calc, and fifth is weightlifting, and then sixth is AP Psychology, and seventh is AP Government.
So how many AP classes? I was trying to count. 5?
Yep.
For those of you who did not watch our girls game, because we talked about that when we interviewed the seniors, girls, an AP class is an advanced placement class. You get college credit if you get a 3, 4, or 5 score at the end of the semester or end of the year. We have people that graduate from here with sometimes 3 college credits, sometimes 36 college credits. Based on what your grades are right now, what would you guess you will end up with scores of 3, 4, or 5 in the AP classes you've had in 4 years here?
Well, last year I took 4 tests and I passed all 4 of those. And this year I got 5, and I got straight A's in those right now. So I'm hoping to pass all 5 of those.
So that'd be 9. They're all 3 hours, 27 college credits when you graduate from Speedway, which is almost a year of college that you're going to be ahead. Good for you.
So my first period class is AP Computer Science, and then I got ceramics, second period. Third period, I have AP Statistics. Fourth period, I'm actually a teacher's assistant for Mr. Avery. And then fifth period, I have AP Government. 6th period I have gym, and then 7th I have AP Lit.
So you've got 4 AP classes.
Yep,
So
mm-hmm.
what will you, if you had to guess, I mean, we have some people take 8 tests and don't end up with any college credit, but.
So last year I passed economics, so I know that was one of them, and that was my only one out of the 3 or 4 last year. And then this year, hopefully, I feel pretty good about them, so I think I'll get probably 3 or 4 on the ones I'm taking this year. So,
well, the point being is a good example for those of you watching of 2 student athletes in the truest sense of the form. We talk about student athletes all the time, but sometimes they're taking Beanbag 101 and so on and so forth. So congrats on challenging yourself with the academic part of what you do here at Speedway High School. If I were to ask you what's your favorite class, not necessarily your favorite teacher, it could be, but the one you look forward to going the most, that you feel like I'm learning a lot, this is a good class that I'm in.
My favorite class, which is kind of weird, would probably be AP Calculus, because I love doing math and whatnot. It's always been one of my favorite subjects is math, so that's what I kind of look forward to every day, learning something new in calculus.
Okay.
I don't take AP Calc, but I take AP Statistics. It's taught by the same teacher, Mr. Passwater. I really enjoy learning from him. I think he's a really good teacher, and I feel like the class it's a pretty fun class to take. I think statistics is a pretty cool subject.
Okay, one last question. You guys are athletes and have been athletes in multiple sports here. But what is one thing that you will take away that you feel like I learned this through athletics that's going to benefit you later on down the road in life, in a job, in a marriage, in a whatever, but a lesson you say, athletics helped teach me this?
One big lesson I think that I've learned through every sport that I've played here would probably be like teamwork and communication, because honestly that goes through everything in life, whether it's work, your marriage, whatnot. Communication is the key to everything, and if you communicate good and you work together good, then things will turn out good.
Okay, very good.
I actually could go off this game for an example. Towards the end of the game, you're winning. In life you can be going good, you can be, being successful, and then something can happen, things can go wrong, and can completely flip tables. I think that's a good thing that sports can teach you is when things go bad, how do you react? How do you handle adversity? So I think playing these games, you learn, you talk with your teammate, you communicate, like Carson said. So I think that shows you when you face problems in life, you also have to fight and get through those tough times. So
great answers and very true. I wholeheartedly agree with what you said, and you guys are 2 good examples of the type of young people that we have here at Speedway High School that I have goosebumps on. It makes me proud that you articulated what you want to do and what you have done, and I congratulate you. Congratulations again on the game tonight, and good luck the rest of the season.
Thank you.
As we're getting ready for the Coach Bennett to take a seat up here, so that I don't forget, at the end we want to thank Brian Pierce from Speedway Community Television and the people assisted him tonight, Kelly Turner and Gavin Canyu, also on cameras tonight, and we appreciate their efforts as well. Wouldn't be possible without the help that we had tonight doing these 2 games. Coach, we said earlier that they started out with a 6-0 lead. They had 2 threes right away. They were ahead 10-4. Then you got it tied at 12 and then tied again at 14. And then from that point on, you inched into a 7-point lead at halftime, a 9-point lead at the end of 3 quarters, and it ended up 52-44. There's the breakdown of scoring. Thoughts about the game tonight?
I'm just real proud of my kids. I think we battled against a good team. I mean, they're good, and they shot the ball better than they've shot it all season. But I think just the effort of our kids battling, and obviously we probably did not make some real smart decisions down the stretch, which is okay. But we battled. Carson Harrison, I think, in the last 2 minutes got 3 big rebounds. Got an offensive rebound one time. Just did what a senior's supposed to do. Drew Valentine, obviously, first game back, and he didn't come out of the game. He's been on quarantine for 2 weeks. Basically had 3 practices with us to get back. Jacob Walker's battling a guy who probably outweighs him by 30, 40 pounds. And then, I think sometimes people overlook just how important your bench is, even though, Evan Owens gave great minutes. Came in Second quarter, played great for probably 3-4 minutes, what we needed, and then came in the third quarter. Again, played only about probably 3 or 4 minutes, but as a senior, he wants to win and do what he needed to do. So I'm just real proud of the team, our team. I'm proud of the way we play defense. We talk about it all the time. Defense wins championships, and tonight we did that. So and I'm happy for the kids too. I mean, I know the start was rocky, but we missed some shots. But I think too, we were just happy to all be back together. We've talked to them a lot about, every time they get the opportunity to step on the floor, especially in this year of 2020 and all the mess that's going on, they need to cherish it. And so they may have been a little bit too geeked up, I guess you would say.
Well, we talked up here about your defense and the fact that there's a lot of switches because you're not switching a 6-foot guy onto a 6'7" guy. You're all 5'8" to 6'1" or so, but we felt up here that the defense was the key to the victory tonight, because I know you believe this. You can always have defense. Some nights the offense will be there and some it won't. But on another note, it was a credit, and you just heard 2 of your seniors up here talking, the kind of kids that want to be good teammates, that want to share, and that's got to make you extremely happy, the kind of kids you have.
Yeah, well, we talk all the time. There's 3 things: be a good person, be a good student, and then be good at basketball. And we've intentionally gone our way to make sure we keep those kids around, so that in moments like not only on the court but then off the court, we don't have to worry about them in school. When kids they're showing up for class, whether it's virtually or in person, they're doing what they need to do, and they all got great plans afterwards. And I think it's also a testament to the way they've been raised at home too. That's always a big help. So this group gets along well together, and it's a fun group, and we had a good couple of days of practice, and now we're really excited about coming back tomorrow night, playing Greenfield Central, getting another good effort, and then pushing our record to 3-2. We're 1-1 in the conference now. I told those guys it's probably been 4 years since we've been 500 at this point in the conference. So excited about that, and just excited to get back in here tomorrow morning. We got our Little League Championship game in here tomorrow. We managed to carry through 3rd and 4th grade. Year 17 for that. We're going to bring our kids in and have them socially distanced in the upper deck here and do it in the main gym, and so we're looking forward to that as well. So.
Well, we will talk to you tomorrow night about the Greenfield Cougars, and enjoy I know that you've been running the Little League with your coaches, and I think your coaches this year have kind of had to abandon coaching the kids because of COVID, that I think got your coaching staff helping coach the kids, but that's a credit to the program as well. Well, we will see you tomorrow night. Congratulations on tonight's victory. Once again, it's Tom Smith. My partner is announcing, Ron Probst. We thank Brian Pierce again, Kelly Fuller, and Gavin Canyu tonight on this thing from Speedway Cable Community TV here at Morris Pollard Gymnasium. Lastly, Spark Plugs victorious in the girls and victorious in the boys tonight in victories over Monrovia Bulldogs. Thank you for watching, and have a good evening.